So I was asked what a difference is between tarot cards and oracle cards. So let's dive into it. All right, so tarot cards have a structure. There are 78 cards in the deck, and they are divided into 22 major arcana, which are the bigger themes of life. Next, it's followed by 4 suits, which are the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. And these areas are all areas of life. On top of that, we have 16 court cards, which are the people of tarot. So all in all, these 78 cards actually depict every scenario you can possibly think of in life. It covers our big spiritual themes. It covers our practical daily life, our work, our finances. It covers our creativity, our emotions, and our thoughts. The people can come across so many different ways. They can come across as aspects of self. They can come across as different personalities, or they can be other people that are actually affecting the current, their life. And actually, on top of that, they can be read in all those ways at the same time. So the structure can make it a little bit difficult to learn, but once you have a basis and you start understanding the core principle of the card, it makes it a lot easier when you're doing a reading to see how they're interacting with other cards. So what I did was got out 2 of my tarot decks just to kind of show how a reading would work with tarot as far as what their traditional meanings are, how the imagery affects those meanings, and how the symbolism on the cards also affect the meanings. And then I have oracle cards. So I have a couple decks of oracle cards out that will do a practice reading and kind of show you how the differences go. So with oracle cards now, there can be as many cards as the creator wants, and they will have meanings. This is on the bottom of the deck. This is an oracle card that I have, which is messages from spirits and nature. This is saying it's wind and it's about movement happening in the life. But then you would also take in this imagery. Do you see how this veil is kind of blowing in the breeze? But the sun is also out. So in a card such as this, you will have the creator's standard meaning. They do come with books showing what the creator was trying to get across with their cards. But then the imagery itself, these are more of an intuitive read, because the imagery itself is going to tell us a lot in relation to our question, or if we don't have a question, what we need to know right now. So first we'll do an example reading with 1 tarot card, and I'm not going to be able to shuffle correctly. My thumb is very inflamed, and it's, long story short, I'm having some difficulty shuffling. So instead of doing as I normally do, you're just going to see me shuffle in this manner. So anyway, let's dive into a question using a tarot deck and how that would be answered. I personally have a lot of sitters who do not ask me a question. They would rather see what comes up first. So let's do in that manner, okay? What do I personally need to know right now is the question I'm asking. So what is it that I personally need to know right now? And I'm going to pull 1 tarot card. And I have the Empress. All right, so because tarot has a structure, I would say what I need to know right now is there is something I need to tend to, but I need to tend to in a loving manner. That's the basis, okay? Because the core meaning of the Empress is nurturing, mothering, tending to something. It is birth, okay? Nurture, nature. Those are some of the core qualities of the Empress. So first of all, when I'm reading tarot, I go by the traditional meaning. After that traditional meaning, I look at the symbolism. So what is it that I need to know right now? The first thing that is catching my eye is that this woman is resting. So she needs to tend to herself a little bit more. So for myself, what do I need to know right now? There's something I need to tend to. Meaning of the card. What is it though that I kind of need to tend to? I'm going to symbolism. the way this figure is resting. She is very much so open, but she looks very tired. There's something going on beneath the surface. This is her pregnant belly, but it's showing the world. So there is something that's going to be created, but right now, kind of need to step back and take care of myself a little bit. This is a way that tarot works. You have your traditional meanings, and then the imagery plays a part in that. This is with my Light Seer Tarot. Same question, using a different deck just to get you, because the imagery is going to be different. A lot of these are probably going to duplicate because tarot is telling me what I need to focus on right now. Let me ask a different question. What is it that my husband may need to focus on right now? I'm pretending he is my current. He needs to focus on using logic and reasoning. He needs to focus on his communication skills at this time and coming across in a way that keeps all emotion kind of out so that he is using this logic, this reasoning, this good communication. The reason I am saying that, we have the King of Swords. Now remember, when I was talking about the people, they can mean a lot of different things. They tend to mean a personality for me of my current. This could be somebody coming into my husband's life that has these type of qualities, but it's still going to affect him in that same way. So if he is communicating with somebody else with these types of qualities, some sort of person who's telling him something, he would still need to react in this professional manner. Okay, so the imagery in this card, you can see how he's very relaxed. He has his sword up. The sword imagery is talking to us that his words can cut either way. But the kings, being masters and being mature, is alerting me that he has this ability to weigh his thoughts, weigh his options. He doesn't need fighting words. He can solve any problem through his words alone. Does that make a little bit of sense as to how tarot and tarot symbolism works? So now let's get an oracle card out. And the oracle card that I actually picked to do is Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is the guidebook that comes with it. One of my favorite oracle decks. So let's go back to me because now I'm using an oracle card. What is it that I need to know most at this time? And we're going to go ahead and just pull one card. Now we are going to go mainly by that imagery. What it is that I need to know most at this time, and it's actually saying attraction. So the artist themselves is saying that this is something to do with an attraction. So manifestation, what it is that I am working towards, what I am attracting into my life. That could be a concept that I would need to be aware of right now. Now I am looking at the imagery, and in this imagery I see first and foremost that this figure is sitting and considering something. So do you remember how when we talked about the tarot, and I had the Empress and I had the World? Do you see the similarities? And I did say the way that tarot and oracle and divination methods in general, they all work based on energy. And this is very similar to me as to what I need to know right now. I need to take some time to consider something that's off in the distance. Do you see how the figure is sitting very patiently and looking? So there is something coming in. But for me personally, what I need to know right now is this attraction. I'm taking the creator's word into account, but I'm also using very much so this imagery in order to answer that question for myself using an oracle card. Another deck that I have is Crow Wisdom Oracle, and I absolutely love this. Now this one actually has something written on the bottom. What is it that I need to know right now? I would still shuffle, pull a card. And as you can see, we have the crow, but it has a message and I know it's backwards. I have my contacts in. Give me a second. The unblinking gaze. You seem completely, you're light. You're seen completely. Your light, your shadow, your potential. There is no hiding now. That makes absolute sense to me. With the creator of this deck having something written down, This is actually telling me I'm very much so on being authentic, and this is answering that question. All right? There's some differences between tarot and oracle.